Here we are with the semi-final of the open season, my own tournament, featuring open maps mainly or only. And we have a best of 5 for the semi-final, Lord Tidow versus Frizzlebear. They have been drafting Sims and maps for the Sim draft. You could use !draft. Hello Tidow, you're in the chat. Since this semi-final is pre-played, the final, whoever of those guys wins this one will be played on Saturday evening at 19 GMT as well, I believe. So, but we have some pretty classic Arabia Civs here. Arabia always game 1, by the way. It should show here in the down corner the name of the map. And yeah, we have Mayans versus Huns. So let's see for the Civs here. Frizzlebear with the Huns. Huns could go many things. They could go infantry openings, usually not men-at-arms because Huns start with 100 less wood, so it takes a bit longer to get that barracks up. Scouts more likely for Huns to go for since their stables work faster anyway, and that would be playing into the Huns' strengths. But as we know, scouts are less viable in Arabia in general these days because everyone tends to wall a lot and never let that early aggression in, and scouts definitely a type of aggression that's easily countered by walls. Pushing in some deer here, so it's definitely indicative of a scout's opening here for Frizzlebear. He's boosting the food eco with both deer and now bringing in the boar as well. And with 3 on wood, that's the main indication of a scout's investment here. Of course, Mayans can't go scouts. They would have to go eagle scouts in that case, but that's a very slow and not ideal approach to scouts play, although it's been done. There are some Mayans fast castle eagle scouts builds out there that are actually quite efficient, but the Mayans in this case, I'm assuming that men-at-arms into archers will be on the agenda here for Lord Tidow. Going to the berries now, so no pre-milled rush for Lord Tidow here, and yeah, forward wood again indicative of the some sort of infantry or straight archers opening. Looking at the maps, we have a back gold here for Lord Tidow that should be fairly easily secured. Just wall towards the edge here to have that area covered. He is also gathering some scouting intel forward to see where to hit. Takes a few hits on his scout and risks losing it if he's not careful here against the enemy scout. But I think the most important thing is finding the enemy location and knowing where to hit once you can get your units out there. Frizzlebear with some early walls already here, so he's playing it surprisingly, planning to play it maybe a little bit more passively than is usual for Huns. Huns never needing to build houses. They have some serious advantage in that sense. Saving some wood, not needing to build houses, or more importantly, never getting housed, which whatever your civ tends to happen to most players at some point in the game. A little bit unlucky scouting for Frizzlebear, though. He has not found the last 2 sheep, and that's going to set back the scouts' economy a little bit. On the other hand, he did push deer, so that more than makes up for 2 sheep not found. Alright, so Lord Tidow, he is at 21 pop now. Actually hasn't gone to gold yet, but there's the mining camp, so I think it's still the men-at-arms here for Lord Tidow. There's the fuel H-tick, yep, with some idle TC time behind there, but that goes for both players. Look at these walls for Frizzlebear, though. Is he going to play this full wall with Huns? That's certainly an option. You save wood, not needing to build houses, so you could more easily afford walls and the buildings needed for aggression, but Huns with their never needing to build houses are just like made for open map full madness aggression as well, so when you have a map like this, why not just go for it? I mean, there's back gold though, so it would make sense for Frizzlebear to try and turtle it out. But there's lots of terrain here to cover to be full walled. And since mines will be going archers, you need to be thinking about how to wall that out as well. This woodline should be slightly in range of your late archers with fletching here, for example. Same with this one, unless you wall slightly out over on this side. There's the Feudal Age for Frizzlebear, and dropping the stables now. Surprisingly similar uptimes here. They both went for 22 pop up, I believe. We have the Men-at-Arms, or soon to be Men-at-Arms, on the move here. There's still a point of entry to the north here, which Lord Tidow was scouted earlier on. That's where his scouts escaped. So there shouldn't be any need to punch through here. Palisade Gate could be a point of attack as well, though, because if you're a bit unlucky with your repairs to the Palisade Gate when it's under attack, then if you're Frizzlebear, you risk losing. You risk opening the gate on accident and letting enemy units in. Oh, and he finds an unfinished Palisade bit here as well, but a good reaction there to keep it up, and some smart walls in towards the TC here as well, to make it even harder for the Men-at-Arms to actually do some aggression here. Eagle Scout tries to engage here, will not get that villager pick off, and down goes the Eagle Scout. The good thing about this for Lord Tidow is that with 3 Men-at-Arms forward now, it limits the potential for Frizzlebear to go straight for the counter-attack. He will try to clean this up with scouts, but he also needs more scouts than there are Men-at-Arms, preferably, to take the fight here. Because the scouts, yes, they have 5 attack, the Men-at-Arms have 6. Scouts have 5 less, no, same hit points. So with that 1 attack more for Men-at-Arms, you want to be careful when engaging with the scouts here. Still an annoyance to be dealt with, though. There's some definitely some wood going into repairs here for Frizzlebear, and being Huns, he also can't house wall the aggression out. He'll need to either repair or drop another gate here. Looks like they had a small pause here. In the meantime, Lord Tidow with Spearman defense here. The scouts can still enter here. The Spearmen are kind of out of position. But oh, there's an opening in the back here. Ooh, will Frizzlebear find that one? Nah, I think that's passable for the scouts. Always scout to the edge of your map, guys. This could actually be an opening to enter, I think. So that might backfire at some point for Lord Tidow here. For now, though, the scouts are being brought back because of the defensive spearmen. Not too easy for the scouts to run in here and engage against 4 spearmen. With 5 scouts, I'd say Lord Frizzlebear should be able to clean this up. Alright, back at it. There are still spears here. There's still an opening in the back as well, but now I think Lord Tidow is on the way to correct that. He's going to drop a house or something here to make sure the scouts can't easily enter here. So good awareness, good thing of Lord Tidow to realize there is in fact an opening in the back of his base. Other than that, there are no easy enter for the scouts here. Frizzlebear might just as well start scouting the rest of the map with his remaining scouts. And be on the alert for the archers moving forward. Oh! Just passing for both players here. So that's lucky for Frizzlebear there to run straight past no less than 7 spearmen there. And not take a single hit to the scouts. I'd call that a little bit lucky. That's why we use the patrol hotkey, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure that our units engage when enemy units are passing. Of course, you wouldn't be... You're happy you didn't patrol the scouts here, because the scouts would then run right into the enemy units to attack. But in Lord Tidow's case, if he was patrolling, those scouts would be dead meat, at least a few of them. Going for the woodline now. Nice. Fletching is in. That means 4+1 range and 4+1 attack as well for the Mayans archers. Chases Frizzlebear off wood here, but he could still relocate to that one. Should be fairly safe from Feudal Age Archer's fire. This one is kind of within reach as well, but I'm not sure if Lord Tidow even has it scouted. He hasn't just yet. Scouts just being plain annoying at home here. Lord Tidow is pulling his armies back, realizing he might not be able to do much more damage here, and the skirmishers are out for the Huns as well. Very full on defensive play for the Huns here. Not the most common thing to be seen from the Huns, but absolutely doable on a map like this where you could full wall. Army size here is well in favor of Lord Tidow, though. He has 20 to 9 military here. He is hesitant to engage, might want to go for the Castle Age power spike here in the end to get the crossbows and bodkin for further range and damage potential. I'm curious what the Huns follow-up will be as well. There's already the stable for Frizzlebear is actually dropping a second one. And I think I like the Knights play over Archers play here, or rather Cavalry Archers play here when up against masses of units like this. On the other hand, if you go for Cavalry Archers here for Frizzlebear and get the appropriate upgrades, you in theory are encountering both unit combinations here. Lord Tidow didn't even click the Castle Age yet. He's going up with Wheelbarrow here, so he's going up to the Castle Age with a much stronger economy than Frizzlebear here. But it's going to be quite a lot of uptime difference here. Frizzlebear trying to engage on the Feudal Age Archers here. Just pump out 6 knights here, preferably with +2 defense, and you could actually clean up most of this from the enemy, even if there are spears in the mix. See Lord Tidow using the market to rush that Castle Age with. I think that's the correct call when up against an opponent who is already ahead of you to the next age. You need to get that Castle Age ASAP yourself. Keeping the archers, soon to be crossbow numbers, healthy as well. Didn't lose a single one yet, I think, Lord Tidow, of these archers. But when you have 2 ranges, needs to be making units as well. Not sure if okay, yeah, I'm not sure if I understand the skirmisher addition here from Lord Tidow, but it could be because it's expecting cavalry archers. 1 range, 2 stables though for Frizzlebear, so he is mainly playing the cavalry here, I'd say. One cab archer walking into certain death there, running into lots of archers and skirmishers. Lord Tidow now 39 seconds left, still daring to move out here with his groups of armies. He can't really know how many knights are on the field for Frizzlebear here, so he'll have to be careful. But for now, preserving the numbers and still having the spearmen in the mix here, that could, if needed, be upgraded to pikemen as well. I like how he's using the spears to scout a little bit more of the map as well, making use of the stray units, if not for fighting, then at least for gaining some more map knowledge here. And an immediate eco extension upon reaching the Castle Age as well. Crossbow, bodkin, thumbring, Mayans eco here for everyone to see. It's just so powerful, but it's also a bit of a later Castle Age for Lord Tidow here. Oh, this town center is in danger. There are quite a few knights out here to contest that one potentially from going up. But the Frizzlebear for now is just missing it, just passing. There sees the foundation, maybe. And wants to go into main base instead. I mean, there's obviously there's army here to potentially protect these town centers from going up. Or oh, the quick gate, so almost working here for Lord Tidow, but the knights are let in, and those are going to be some serious villagers' deaths. First villager blood of the game, 2 down for Lord Tidow here. So good engagement. I wouldn't be scared of the pikemen here, just run right in. You have +2 armor here, no reason not to engage them when they're only spearmen. Yeah, there we go. A Frizzlebear will clean up with a minimum of losses here, no problem. There are still crossbows to be dealt with here. They've broken through the walls, and Frizzlebear tries to scramble up a siege workshop here now, right next to the TC. One down there. No ballistics yet for Lord Tidow. Still getting some good hits in, and there's still going to be a while until the siege workshop can actually produce or finish producing siege units to the archers. Here come the knights back home. Not really in the numbers to contest here. 13 knights total though, so if Frizzlebear collects his numbers here, he could take some favorable fights against Lord Tidow here. Worst case, he might need to delete his market here to limit this choke point, and then charge the knights in. But looks like Frizzlebear wants to rely on defensive siege instead here, and that might hurt, not trying to engage against the crossbows here, but he's probably looking at the numbers as well and waiting for appropriate knights numbers to be able to contest Lord Tidow's numbers here. Wanting to get some counter attack in here. Hounds with second TC going up here as well. So Frizzlebear did play this for 1 TC for a bit longer than Lord Tidow. So Lord Tidow actually had the chance to catch up here in builders while not being subject to counter attack. This is looking good for the Mayans' economy long term to have 3 town centers well ahead of the Huns here. Well, scratch that. Actually, there's a third 3 TCs for Frizzlebear as well. So if they both keep producing builders consistently, then they'll be able to match each other's villager counts and economy here. But keep in mind that Mayans' economy lasts 15% longer as well. So in equal villager numbers, Mayans will still take the better end of the deal. Crossbows, defensive scorpions, not in the numbers needed here to engage against the crossbows. Pikemen mixed in here as well will make it more awkward for Frizzlebear to engage here. The Scorpion's addition is nice, though. That would weaken both the pikemen and archers here at the same time. It's so important to take the hills here as well, especially for Frizzlebear with the cavalry, not the archers here, to take some presence on the hill so that Lord Tidow can't push up a castle here to push inside of the enemy base, or to use the hill advantage for the ranged units here. Gate's still standing for Lord Tidow here. Didn't even bother deleting those after partially blocking out the knights that engaged not long ago. I see Eagle Warriors being added here as well. That seems sketchy when there are so many knights on the field here, but it could also be a long-term play for Lord Tidow to go for the Eagle raids. It's actually dropping 3 more barracks here now, so we really want those Eagles to get inside Frizzlebear's Eagle to raid here. It makes sense with the villager numbers as they are. It's the best raiding unit option that the Mayans have. They don't have knights or light cavalry, those sorts of things, right? So they need to do something. But it's also very gold heavy, the Eagles. So attack and counterattack. Archers out in the wide open now, but Frizzlebear failing to produce out of both stables. In order to keep consistent production out of 2 stables, you need 14 on gold if you don't have gold mining. It's 6 on food and 7 on gold for consistent, stable production. And for hunts with the stables working faster, it's even higher. It's more like 8 on gold for hunts to be able to keep only 1 stable consistently producing. So you get your numbers up quickly, but you need all that more, and you need more gold to keep the production consistent. But look at this trap! Look at Frizzlebear. He's circling in the enemy crossbows. He has scorpions firing from behind to weaken them, and the pikes join in here to fight, but that's a fight that eventually Frizzlebear will win. That was a perfect engagement there, not allowing Lord Tidow to take that choke point there to his advantage with the archers or crossbows. Castle on the hill for Lord Tidow. I like that placement. Siege workshop for Frizzlebear, but I don't think Frizzlebear can deny this castle, can he? Depends on how many pikes he can focus down here in time. He's gonna lose knights and wicks, and Lord Tidow with a quick gate again here to keep the knights from easily engaging against the building builders. Nice play to keep the aggression out there. Another one! But the knights' numbers are dwindling for Frizzlebear here with now only 10 knights left here. This castle definitely goes up. And the castle also reaches the siege workshop here, so even if Frizzlebear tries for a siege push or something here to deal with the enemy units, the castle will weaken or even destroy the siege workshop as they pop out. This scorpion as well, probably. If it just pops right out here, though, it's going to go to die to castle fire. Okay, keeps it inside. Good call on Frizzlebear to do that at least. Dropping more stables, so it is extended knights play potentially into Cavalier here for Frizzlebear. We'll see. University is up as well. Could be that he's thinking about the Imperial Age transition here with the 2 buildings needed. Collecting some relics maybe. Has 1 in already. And has some decent intel as to the relics locations here. Knows about at least 2 more. Oh, but that's a good spot. Patrol, please! Oh, that could have been 3 dead builders for Lord Tidow at least. If the knights were on patrol there, then they would immediately engage on the gold here. But Lord Tidow saves his villagers for now. Good reaction from Lord Tidow as well to see the blue dots moving on the minimap and pulling the villagers away so that the knights can't easily kill them on the gold here. Solid. A chunk of pikes here for Lord Tidow. Both defense upgrades in, and Imperial Age is on the way at virtually the same time for both players here. Good evening, Enzo. Nice to see you stopping by for the Open Season 1300 Max semifinals cast that we're doing at the moment. These players aren't joking around though. Quick walls, quick gates to get castles up, and in Frizzlebear's case, trapping in archers here to not allow Lord Tidow's crossbows to take a choke point. Eagle Warriors numbers extending here for Lord Tidow though. We must be thinking about the elite Eagle Warriors in the Imperial Age here to get some raids in and maybe even get El Dorado if the economy allows here for the Mayans. There's lots of wood in the bank for Lord Tidow though, and now not producing crossbows anymore. Lord Tidow may want to consider applying that wood to gold or food income instead to further strengthen the Eagles' investment here. I'm a bit puzzled of the Eagles' switch here against cavalry play though, because there's quite a few knights here for Frizzlebear that will there will be yeah, they should be able to handle and catch up with Eagles. Probably have a match in another tournament Friday evening around 20 GMT. Okay, and so maybe we could do yours first, then I'll keep you posted. First or after you finish the tournament games. Otherwise, you'll find it in the VODs, my VODs are always accessible, but it's more fun to have you there live. More fun to have you there live, of course. So we'll stay in touch about that. Look at the green and blue on the map here, though. There's 3 TCs for both. Yet no, Frizzlebear with 5 TCs actually. So scratch that. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, this is a good game then. Maybe it should be later in the evening then. When I've had even more beer to drink. So is he actually producing out of these? He's producing builders out of 3 of the TCs. That should be more than enough here. 141 builders, so massive boom for Frizzlebear here. Frizzlebear. And army numbers somewhat similar as well. With the Imperial Age in, Lord Tidow could consider going into Halberdier here though. He needs 600 gold, 300 food for that upgrade. For now though, the Cavalier with full Imperial Age defense here, they will slaughter the pikes and they will do more than decent against the Eagles as well. But these Elite Eagles, they're not joking around here. They are in solid numbers. And with some more farms investment or some market tweaking here for Lord Tidow, the Elite Eagles could even have more hit points total here for the mines with the Eldorado unique tech. Nice cavalry raids here for Frizzlebear, taking out 1 TC, going to kill some villagers now with these raids as well for sure. And a nice little AI armor over here preparing to engage as well. Scorpion, Monk, Light Cab and whatnot. Elite Eagle Warriors with +2 attack, 3 defense. That's about as good as they get without Eldorado here. Chasing the Cavalier, but I think Frizzlebear, as long as there aren't Halberdiers in the mix here, Frizzlebear should be taking this fight. And he will, although he's missing some attack upgrades here, will be coming out in the better end of this fight. Cavaliers with the raids as well, so blue splitting up the Cavaliers here. I like that, but this is a worse fight. It's still less hit points overall for the Eagles, but it should be quite a few Cavalier going down there, especially if the Halberdiers meddle in here as well. Oh, but look at the raids! Splitting up some Eagles here in the north for Lord Tidow. And Frizzlebear scrambling up a defensive castle here now in the middle of all the farm eco. Real good map reading here of Lord Tidow to see all of this exposed farming eco to the north here, where just a few eagles will have lots of damage potential. They're both losing villagers here, but due to the raids, Frizzlebear will be forced to pull his armies closer to home to deal with the action that's going on here. Frizzlebear, however, with his 5 town centers, is in a better spot to replenish villager numbers as they go down, and he's still keeping a 40 villagers lead and a stronger eco behind this. I don't understand the elite skirms here. I guess it's against the Halberdiers, but that's not going to be ideal with Eagle Warriors on the field, sadly. Good engagement again for the Cavalier, though. Hard game for green, indeed. Halberdiers, certainly a good call against the Cavalier. And the Eagle raids, just these small triggers already. I think that's just the way to go for it here, to obstruct the economy of Frizzlebear here and force a reaction. And it seems quite open still between the players. Lord Tidow keeping the villager count at a healthy 100 here. Strictly speaking, you don't necessarily need more as Mayans. But I think a switch back to Arbalest for the Mayans here could be a play as well with all the Cavalier on the field. There were some elite skirmishers, but then you could just add in some elite Eagle Warriors to deal with the skirmishers if that's the case. Let's see how the push works out though. Some one Eagle raiding over here. That's so annoying. Forcing a TT to garrison here and just run around and be plain annoying over there. There's still lots of eco in the bank to use here. Long swordsman for the Mayans. And Mayans only get 200 swordsmen. And Paladin, meanwhile, is in for Huns. That's also one you don't see all that often in the 1v1 to get the Paladin upgrade. Magnolia is here. Hello. And I'm looking at the army numbers as well, which is something that matters definitely at this stage in the game. That Lord Tidow has 43, Frizzlebear has 27. Yes, he has Paladin almost fully upgraded, or just missing the last attack upgrade, but Lord Tidow also plays the mobility here with the Eagle raids, and is just going to make life intolerable for the Huns player here. Sorry, Thor. Uh-oh. So as long as there's gold on the field here, I don't hate Frizzlebear's position here. It's no, Tidow's position, I mean. I don't hate it, because as long as Lord Tidow can keep producing the elite eagles here, he'll have the ability to use a speedy unit to raid and limit Frizzlebear's resource income, which seems questionable for the time being. I think he's been idle a lot. Look at the idle eco time for Frizzlebear here. That's the benefit of the Eagle raids right there. Lord Tidow still only on 3 TCs, Frizzlebear now with 6 of them, and taking some neutral map control, something that again gets punished by Lord Tidow's play here. So more and more villagers going on. Look at the Eco KD, 63 to 45, but in Frizzlebear's case, with the 6 TCs total, it's always easy to replenish the villager numbers if you remember to keep queuing them, as should be done as long as you're not completely pop capped here. Frizzlebear with a bit of an overboom though, 156 villagers. That means less room for army, so unless your last 50 military here is full on paladins, you might struggle a bit against the offenses of the green player here. Another castle for Lord Tidow as well, will be denied by the light cab though. Ah, still patrolling. Oh, there we go. Yeah, at this point in game, Frizzlebear doesn't need to keep making builders. Should actually consider killing some builders now to make room for more military. If you look at the military count, it's 41 to 14 here, and that's what might win Lord Tidow of the game here, because he keeps having more consistent army high here. And also still has the population space with fewer villagers overall to queue a few trebs out of the castles maybe and start pushing against the Huns player here, trebs and the halberdiers. That should be more than decent to push the buildings of blue here. Mainly halberdiers in production. I like that there's hussar raids coming in as well, so you need something to deal with that. No Eldorado for the Mayans Eagles here. That's the last upgrade they need to be reaching their absolute strongest here. Then if you research the unique technology for Mayans, you'll get Eagles with 100 hit points, which are rather beastly. Frizzlebear with 163 villagers and still queuing villagers here. He doesn't want to let go of his economy here. He's floating quite a bit of resources here and could be queuing more paladins here in addition to the hussars. But good eco though. I think Frizzlebear has been watching here our Leary's hussar spam here, because it's just so many on food for Frizzlebear, and he could spam Hussar until the end of the century if he wanted to, but again he finds himself subject to eagle raids here, and Lord Tidow is really doing his best to close out this game and put it in the pocket. Capped ram push. Okay, there are light cav and paladins on the field, but I like the idea of a siege ram halberdier push here still, because then if you take out the rams, you'll have halberdiers popping out just to kill the cavalry, so that shouldn't be too bad against a cavalry civilization like the Huns, going full on paladin hussar play here. Frizzlebear seems a little bit stubborn in the unit choice here. Not that Huns have a lot of options, but looks like even mixing in some cavalry archers here for some mobility and raiding here, even though the Eagle Warriors would catch up and take them out eventually. If you can get some ranged raids in, you'd be in a good spot with Huns here. Yeah, they're really splitting the map in half here, both taking good map control. And Frizzlebear taking the most of the neutral golds and stones by the looks of it, but he's also being punished for the greediness and the greediness of the boom here, as a solid chunk of Mayans Rams here are going to take out the castle capped Rams for now. No, not enough food for Lord Tidow to go into Siege Ram, but these numbers are still admittedly scary here. Even if the Paladins focus down the Rams here, there are going to be Halberdiers popping out here and to then engage against the cavalry. So that's why this is so deadly against the cavalry civilizations. You have protection for the halberdiers moving forward, and if the Rams go down, there'll be halberdiers popping out to take out the cavalry units, so you can't just run in and snipe the Rams. Some production going down, and Lord Tidow has stone walls at home as well, so he's keeping the worst bits of the aggression out here. And now Lord Tidow is, Frizzlebear is also losing production capabilities here. He does have Bracer, I think that was mainly for the skirmishers earlier on. He's getting Blast Furnace finally for the cavalry units to boost their attack as well. But look at the military numbers here. I mean, it doesn't help to have 60 more on economy if you can't match the military numbers, and Lord Tidow currently has 3 times the army numbers of his opponent here. He has some presence to the north as well, could patrol this in to raid the farm eco yet again and limit food units production here. 1 town center goes down as well. And with some more on food for Lord Tidow, we could see Siege Fang kicking in as well. Some paladins raiding in Lord Tidow's base as well, but they will be sorted by just a few paladins here by the looks of it. And overall, I'm favoring green this game now, with the units' presence all over the map here. Must be quite the headache for the Huns to try and survive this, even with the arguably stronger economy. It's going to be interesting to see the resource collected stats by the end of this game. Eagle Warriors back in queue, so still gold in the queue for, or in the bank for Lord Tidow here, even though he's not strictly mining any. There's a little bit left over here, but that's about it. More castles on the hills, I love that as well. That kind of presence to secure some neutral wood. So placement of these castles limits any kinds of raids here and provides spaces for the builders to hop into as needed for protection. Nice, 2 trebs sniped by Lord Tidow there. Frizzlebear with only 3 on gold. And yeah, there's some gold over here as well. And other than that, the map is more or less running out of gold now. There's some small patches left for both players here, which is arguably more of a crisis for the Mayans here, both because there aren't any relics for Lord Tidow, but also because Lord Tidow is more dependent upon having gold access to still have a raiding unit. It's a pity that he's forgotten about the units up north, though. That's 12 army units idling out here right next to enemy economy, so they could certainly work wonders in the north side. So Rams still alive though, and Eagles left, and Eagles raid. Frizzlebear tries to break castle on this hill. That's not gonna happen, my friend. Oh, the foundation could be sniped here. Lord Tidow. He got it! Oh, nice castle snipe. Good job there. And what a long first Arabia game here. Neither player wants to give up, and understandably so. This could still swing either way here. It's the army numbers are suddenly a bit more concerning for Lord Tidow here, with Frizzlebear reaching pop capped here with 61 military now. Didn't even see that. Okay, so it was the castle that noticed it then. Good for you. I love the map awareness though. There's still Rams doing work here. That's gonna die to Hussars eventually. Skirmishers of course won't be killing Rams on their own. Nice eagle rides on the left. I guess the units in the north were dealt with as well. And Frizzlebear is the one on the forward now trying to get some raids in, but Lord Tidow is still holding for now. He needs a response to the Halberdiers. He did tech into Longswords, but gold is going to be an issue now. Lord Tidow could still sell stone to have some easy gold access here. There's probably decent prices for stone right now. But I'm not sure about the Halberdiers. Okay, there's full upgrades for Lord Tidow's Halberdiers actually, so he could contest Frizzlebear's Halberdiers here in equal numbers. So never mind, that might actually be okay to go only Halberdiers here for now and not mix in stronger infantry units. Losing some map presence here. Frizzlebear is pushing away now, taking down one castle. And we'll be getting Hussar raids in shortly. There are some gaps here for the Hussars to run in, so Frizzlebear with the... how many stables? 10 stables, I think. Should just keep pumping out units now and keep that going. Could still remove some more builders, I think, with this kind of food income and just commit to Hussar raids to try and end the vessel sieve here. Some presence to the left hand side. Very exposed farm and wood eco here that will be taken out for Lord Tidow, and the GD is called. Understandably so, there's simply more map control for Frizzlebear at this point, but a great game still. What kind of back and forth this was. And Lord Tidow's biggest issue is the lack of gold, the lack of a good raiding unit, and the not not being able to push back enough here, even with all the raids. I would blame a little bit the army that idled up in the north here that could have done serious damage to the north side here, but still very solid playing and holding out for this long with the vessel save against late game hunts, where I think the Hussar raids would in the end be the deciding blow here, because you can't really return the raids in the same way without gold access as mines. So let's see here. Frizzlebear with double attack and horse collar early on, which is customary for the scouts builds. He seems more consistent with his eco upgrades as well. And looks like Lord Tidow never got Bowsaw here, unless it's hiding behind either of these things. Let's have a quick look here. So that hurts a bit, or it hurts a lot, honestly, for the wood income for the later game. Could have a look at the KD, 598 to 471 for Frizzlebear, the boomer, and Lord Tidow with the army high at some point. I don't think he ever was able to go into El Dorado either, which would have made a huge difference for the Eagle raids in terms of what should we say, durability, withstanding enemy arrows and melee attacks. Economy unsurprisingly higher for Frizzlebear, especially for the food. And gold, relic gold playing into this as well. Something for Lord Tidow to keep in mind for late game plays like this, to try and snag some of the relics for additional gold as well, especially as a vessel civilization. Imp times similar here. And finally the society score shows 163 villagers high for Frizzlebear. Alright, let's find game number 2, and will be Lord Tidow's home map. We're going to Plains, which is a very open land map. It's not that dissimilar from Arabia, but it's, as you should see shortly, much more open. The map gens can be questionable and borderline unfair, but the general idea is that you should have thanks Tidow. You should have some small woodlands around or not too far off your TC, not unlike Acropolis in that sense, and then you need to migrate later on to get to the chunkier, fatter woodlands. You could, of course, make an argument, if you have it scouted, to go right for the back woodlands for more consistent wood access, and there's also a chance that the enemy won't spot you as easily, but I prefer a shorter walking distance to the first few woodlands and then extend later on, because it's easier to pull the villagers back to protect them in the event of raids here. Now, looking at plains, good luck full walling in the Dark Age here. It's not completely out of the question, but it's going to take some serious wood commitment to do so. So that's why I want these kinds of open maps. I want to encourage feudal age play and scouts and cavalry archers and knights and that sort of thing. You could of course go archers as well. There's nothing to discourage men at arms into archers here. Maybe it might even be more efficient actually, because the archers would be able to reach over small walls. But we have to what I would consider cavalry civilizations here. Lord Tidow with the Franks for his home map here. Strongest scout rush in the game, arguably, with the plus 20% hit points kicking in immediately. And Capture Age, what are you doing to me? Looks like a restart may be needed here. We'll fix that. Franks with 20% more hit points for the scouts as feudal age kicks in, but Khmer with the ability to potentially mass the scouts earlier, because they, strictly speaking, don't need a barracks to drop the stable to start producing. Okay, I need to... Alright, thanks. Capture Age. I haven't had any. I've had more issues after going Capture Age Pro than I used to do with the free version. That feels wrong. But they're doing great work with the software. I love their work and what they do, so happy to pay for it and use it as often as I can. The advanced stats really something I like. Okay, we're back in Capture Age here. Frizzlebear versus Lord Tidow, as you still can see, is the semifinal. And I wouldn't be surprised not to see a Scouts War here with the feudal age kicking in. C3 on wood for both players, right? Usually indicative of Scouts investment. There's more on food for Lord Tidow overall here. But yeah, why is this? Okay, yeah, Frizzlebear is idling here for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what's with the villager difference. There's no villagers dead here. There's no idle eco time. There's loom for Frizzlebear. Why is the villager difference so large? I don't understand. Maybe the stats reset after the restart. Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably a bit bugged out than the stats. So see Lord Tidow going a bit further off here to the woodline, the chunkier woodline farther off. That's one that Frizzlebear has scouted, so he might target that one with his own scouts later on, if scouts are the play at all here. But since Frizzlebear hasn't gone to gold, I'd assume that Frizzlebear is also going for the scouts play here. There's a bit of a difference in the uptime, even with Lord Tidow with one population more here. That's probably a result of idle TC time that doesn't... that seems a bit off after the Capture Age restart here. One builder difference between the player, one population difference going up. And ideally, with that kind of difference, Frizzlebear should also be up before Lord Tidow here. So I think there's been some idle TC time to consider. So the advantage of being Khmer on maps like this is that you can hide in houses. So if you get raided by Frank's scouts here, We could still look for a place to garrison like the house here. I think that's Frizzlebear's target there. There we go. Hops into the house. Whoop. He saves his life for now. Oh, so annoying though. It doesn't matter too much to delay the Khmer barracks, as the Khmer will be able to drop the stables anyway, if the wood allows, that is. But yeah, with the barracks not up, you can't produce spearmen either, and that's why Frizzlebear is adding the barracks here, even though he strictly speaking doesn't need to spear. He wants to have the option to defend with spearmen here against the what he is just simply expecting from the Franks here. He's scouting it now as well. Soon enough, he's gonna see the stable over here and confirm that it is the Franks scouts playing into the Franks' strengths and not any other shenanigans like men-at-arms or straight archers from the Franks here, something they usually don't do. So Frizzlebear is indeed opting for some semi-walling here to keep the aggression out. He's also chasing Lord Tidow's starting scout here, which is good. Will diminish the hit points there. Not producing his own scouts, surprisingly, but queuing spearmen here to defend. There is a farm here for Lord Tidow to snipe if he feels in the courageous mood here. 4 scouts out and spears pounding away at each other over here. But let's have a look at the actual scouting here. Lord Tidow knows about the woodlands over here. And the food income on the berries for that matter. I'm surprised not to see either player with a follow-up here. Just that sure, Franks can go scouts into knights and have spears to defend, but you could also arguably use add some skirmishers here to snipe enemy spearmen to have more easy access with your scouts to engage, or even add archers for range and better options to snipe villagers overall here. One spearman, no issue for the scouts, just go ahead and engage, taking a minimal damage there. There are scouts from Frizzlebear in the enemy base though, but he is, unless he gets bloodlines, he's behind in hit points here, so in equal numbers, Lord Tidow will still win any engagements here. It's going to be annoying though, especially if you have some weak villagers around here. If Frizzlebear sees the weak one here, he could target that one and maybe take it out, but he's sadly targeting the wrong villager here. And the only player who's lost villagers here is Frizzlebear, and that was actually the villager lost the boar, so that explains the villager difference from earlier on here. That Lord Tidow still hasn't killed a villager of Khmer here, easier said than done when they can hide in houses like this. But definitely definitely being annoying here, Lord Tidow. You could tell that it's taking its toll on his production at home as well, this attention to army forward, idle, TC. TC going idle for more than 2 minutes for Lord Tidow, rendering the villager numbers rather similar here. Second stable, oh boy. So Lord Tidow really committing to the feudal age scouts here. There's no sign of a castle age here just yet. Hasn't got the gold. Did small wall in this woodland. But there's an overchop. Frizzlebear. Will you find a way in? Oh, never mind. I faked that one. That looked like a hole, but it's not. Frizzlebear. I'm almost saying Grizzly Bear, but we'll stick with Frizzlebear as is his name here. Spearman chasing, but they don't have the speed to catch up, and there's overdrop on this woodland as well. Is that something that Frizzlebear will find? It's just a few tiles away. This is your lucky chance here, Frizzlebear, to go and engage and get some villager kills in on the woodline. Lord Tidow with horse collar though, and that's going to benefit the farming. I mean, Franks get it instantly, so you don't need to think about that. But Frizzlebear does not have it, and even with Khmer farms, you'd want horse collar to benefit your farms in the long run to carry more food before you need to replenish them. Reseed them, rather. Okay, day one. No skirmishers yet this game. Okay, day one. These players just passing, yeah. Yeah, you have your Zoom conference. Sounds interesting. Have a good cast, thank you. And League of Empires will need that as well. We want our revenge. The spirit of the skirmisher is with us, that's good to know. Right, Frizzlebear, being Khmer, he could just simply click up when he has the food and gold for it, so he's going up here. And Lord Tidow, committing to the extended field late here, needs to sort that wood economy now. Too much wood in the bank. Will have to consider transitioning it into farms. Did he lose some villagers over here? Its eco KD is somewhat similar here. But that cast late transition for Frizzlebear, that could mean trouble for Lord Tidow. That means that the Khmer could send in knights or even battle elephants here. That Lord Tidow won't have any great answers to, still being in feudal age. Still, the army activity, the army usage here of Lord Tidow is still on point, using the scouts actively here to obstruct the economy of Frizzlebear and limit the potential for any army production. Look at all these idles here, idle eco ticking away for Frizzlebear here, and villagers potentially going down as well. Not nearly enough spearmen here for Frizzlebear to hold this up. Frank scouts have +1 attack as well. By the looks of it, Lord Tidow is now considering his scouts expendable, going for maximum damage here, idling the gold. I love that he's hitting the gold. That means that Frizzlebear will have limited advantage of his castle here. He has the market, so he could sell resources to buy gold here. He could sell the stone if in a pinch here. He won't be able to produce any extra theses just yet. And Lord Tidow is still in the feudal age here. Doesn't seem too stressed out about this. What's that? What are those? I actually don't know what these symbols mean. But there is 13 army to 5 here. Frizzlebear struggling for gold income, and even though he could produce, I think he got 1 knight out here, but with this amount of spearmen and scouts on the field, not so much to do about it. Arrows means buildings needed for research for next stage. Ah, thanks, Enzo. Didn't know that. So, by the looks of it, Lord Tidow has dropped those, and now also on the way to the castle age here with lots of wood. I don't see the application of that for Franks at this point in game, not going into archers or skirmishers, but that's certainly going to be easy to afford two new town centers for Lord Tidow as needed. He could TC the golds, for example, for safety here. And in the meantime, Lord Tidow here might not even need cast age here. He's getting villager pickoffs left and right. 17 to 5 in the villager eco KD here. Look at the villager counts. It's 29 to 44. And Akkal-AOE is testing out my commands, I see. Could probably edit that to to Dennis, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so some decentralized wood collection here all week. This means dead villagers as well, if Lord Tidow actually spots it at some point. So that seems risky. Castle Age is in for Lord Tidow, and look at this economy here, should easily be able to drop 2 town centers with a wood and stone here. Second stable, third stable, actually going up here. Food eco to support quite a few knights here, and should really give the Franks the edge here with better upgrades than Khmer by far here for the cavalry units. Frizzlebear really needs to go for monk defense and full pikeman here or something to hold this up, but he's lost too much here. He's so far behind. It's 13 villagers behind Lord Tidow now, and the early Castle Age really didn't give Frizzlebear anything here. Towns entering both goals, I like that for Lord Tidow, really securing the territory here. Might have benefited from one TC on Woodline as well, but that's maybe one for later. Right now, Lord Tidow is definitely in the winning position on his home map here. I like how Frizzlebear just spreads across the map to random woodlands here, hoping that Lord Tidow won't find him, and Lord Tidow won't. At least it doesn't quite address it just yet, but look at these knights numbers. Those knights are alone and are probably enough to take out what's left of Frizzlebear's economy here. Frizzlebear seems less comfortable when not able to full wall at minute 6 of the game, as is usually possible and done on Arabia. So the monster is up, but there are some scouts still alive for Lord Tidow as well. They could snipe monks if Frizzlebear doesn't add pikemen or something else to engage. 49, 36 here, more idle TC time for Lord Tidow, but he's also with 3 TCs here. And actually currently using, producing from at least 2 of them here. Oh, with a final woodland. Just passing, apparently. But there's another woodland to be hit here, and Frizzlebear reacts to hopping into the houses here. Still losing more numbers and falling behind almost 20 villagers here, and he hasn't been counterattacking for a long while here. I think this is Lord Tidow's game, people, and we'll be looking at a 1-1 here. Shouldn't call it too early, of course, but this push seems solid enough with the army advantage of 24 to 6 here. Also 3 town centers to 1. And the only thing potentially lacking here is a bit of scouting to find or to confirm that Frizzlebear has actually relocated there. 3 villagers down just like that for Frizzlebear again though. And Bloodline's kicking in now, but what's going to benefit from that? 5 knights only, and the gold situation doesn't allow for a lot more knights here. Frizzlebear is down to half the villagers here, and being raided more or less into oblivion here by the continued cavalry play of Lord Tidow here. Who now seems to want to scout for any relocations here. They are down here, the woodlines, so that's something you could keep denying. Forward Siege Workshop now to end it all as well, battering rams to take out production buildings here from Frizzlebear. There really shouldn't be any comeback possible for blue here, although the counterattack is on the way here. Knights from either side, only +1 defense though, so they will be subject even to town center fire here. Oh, could trap them here. Palisade gate. Palisade. Okay, so no trap this time around for Frizzlebear. Got lucky there, venturing into dangerous territory here, and Lord Tidow doesn't seem to address these raids going on here now, so that's some villagers down for Lord Tidow. Not that it matters that much now, being with a 30 villagers lead here. So how is Lord Tidow not closing out this game? He could keep producing a lot more knights as well, and maybe a fourth stable at this point, or just idle and aim for Imperial Age, of course, would be an option as well. I see there's stone being collected in masses here. This would be an ideal castle spot to deny both the TC farming and production capabilities here of Khmer. Khmer Knights idling out on the opponent's side here and just not really contributing to society at this point. And somehow Frizzlebear is now able to afford and build a new town center now on the woodland to the south, the one that Lord Tidow has just barely scouted down here. But I think you have a 105 castle in the making here now, with some siege to push once the castle goes up as well. Lord Tidow is not joking around here, he's tasking 9 villagers to build it, one of them extremely weak though. But look at the army count, look at the village count. There's should never be a way back for Khmer in this game for Frizzlebear. It's struggling for economy enough to keep the thesis pumping. We'll need a lot more army, we'll need much more monks to deal with these masses of Frankstein now. Even with some conversions kicking in, it's going to be to Lord Tidow's numbers advantage here. The knights and monks could actually use the monks to deny the castle here by alt-clicking the different villagers. That could work. But I think the castle is going up, and it could also be the GG blow here with this forward castle going up. And Frizzlebear nowhere near Imperial Age castle and Trebs here to push them back. GG, 11 GG. Rough game for Frizzlebear, that second game there. Let's see what the stats say about this one. Total score almost 2k ahead for Lord Tidow in the end here. Units count almost 3 times as many here. KD 7546 total army produced here. You see some much larger army high, more consistency overall for Lord Tidow playing this open map very efficiently. Never letting go of the forward pressure, so that more than compensated for Lord Tidow's earlier idle TC time during the raids. Much more resource collected, less obstructed at home. Did take some hits, of course, as well, but not nearly enough to push Franks away from the win here. Castle time, 27-17, could maybe have been diminished a little bit with less spearman investment, I would say, in by the Franks in the feudal age. But that pressure, though, you could stay in the feudal age if you keep the army superiority like Lord Tidow did here, so it definitely worked out. And then the villager high shows 73 to 44 here total for Lord Tidow, so definitely the winner of this one. Now it's time to see Frizzlebear's first home map here. Just give me a moment to fetch it. And we're going into one of my favorites here. It's going to be Serengeti for Frizzlebear. So another quite open map, I'd say. But we'll see what it brings us. Guess that was a zip win. No, it wasn't Lord Tidow. It was well played. Good pressure. Serengeti is Frizzlebear's home map, and he's been picking Persians for this one. Lord Tidow arguably with a kind of a counter pick with Berbers there. Berbers have cheaper cavalry, cheaper camels. But since Persians have access to siege ram and halberdier, that could be backfiring on the Berbers for the late game. That's something that Berbers could struggle with handling. But it's Serengeti. And once again, I may not just froze for a moment there. Let's hope it stays this way. Both players likely to go scouts again here, I would say. It's not completely unthinkable to go Drush Fast Castle for either player on Serengeti either, but especially for Persians, I favor the scouts play because of the early uptime, giving Persians access to the economy upgrades and their 10% faster working town centers. 10, 15, and 20% faster throughout the ages for Persians. So we'll see what Frizzlebear does here, but for Serengeti, I absolutely love scouts because it's so open anyway. It's tough to cool wall, and on this cracked terrain, if you build on it, the buildings will take 25% more damage. Anyway, so you'd have an easier time breaking through walls if the walls cross any of this cracked terrain as well. Now for Lord Tidow with the Berbers, he'll want to be the first one to Castle Age here at least, because that's where Berbers shine with their 15% cheaper cavalry, involving both knights and camels. And it's also 20% cheaper in the Imperial Age, but Berbers naturally then don't have access to paladins. But they have the unique unit, the Camel Archer, which is more of a counter to Cavalry Archers, really, and yeah, fully upgraded with Bloodlines and attack and armor for the Cavalry unit. So you could simply just win by pure mass if you're Berbers, and take more cost-efficient fights, given that your units cost less. Some idleness time for Lord Tidow again here, but not too significant. They're both having a little bit of it here. Frizzlebear taking some seconds here as well, but all in all, they seem somewhat evenly matched in the idle department here. Garrisoning to shoot enemy scout here, not getting many hits in, unfortunately, for Lord Tidow here. So that caused some idle eco time behind this good value for Frizzlebear there, actually, to obstruct the food income for a little bit there. Looks like both players have found their respective enemies, and at around the 6-minute mark here, you should definitely be on the enemy side to confirm that they're not going for a Drush approach, because if Frizzlebear had been going for the pre-build rush here, then he'd probably already be building the barracks, and Lord Tidow, by his presence here, would in that case be able to stop that, or delay that barracks from going up. This is a questionable engagement though, wants to get that builder. Okay, good commitment, loses the first scout, but gets one builder kill. I'd say it's a fair trade, even if you want to go for the scouts. If you can take one villager off the enemy, that means less resource income for them, and potentially a villager lead for yourself. 18 to 16 here now. Milling the hunt before the berries. So if you want to like to push in hunt and save that 100 wood for placing the mill somewhere else, you could of course mill the hunt, and it's well worth it with all of the access. There's even a little bit of shorefish here that Lord Tidow could take to this mill actually, to even capitalize on the resources around the mill here. Frizzlebear will not be able to snipe any villagers here because Loom is now in for Lord Tidow here. And Feudal Age should be on the way for both players soon as well. Looks like they're both setting up for 21 top scouts here, maybe. And Frizzlebear with the walling again here will secure his right hand side. If he can get the full walls up, that renders the Berber scouts useless, so we'll see if he's able to pull that off in time here. Lord Tidow did lose his starting scout as well, so he starts his scout rush at 0, whereas Frizzlebear will have his initial scout at nearly full hit points here. Barracks up for the Berbers as well. Long distance hunting, even the ostrich here. That could be dangerous once the scouts start rolling onto the field here. Frizzlebear is on point with the scouting again here. Probably to confirm that there's still hunting going on. Might see the carcass over here. And that might very well be the first target for the blue player here. Once the scouts start pumping out. Of course, Lord Tidow could queue some spearmen here to protect his food income over here, without that being too big of a deal. Frizzlebear tried even to snipe the stables foundation there before it's completed, but Lord Tidow doesn't take the bait. He tasks no less than 4 villagers to finish the stables, to get it up ASAP here, already being behind 1 scout in the grand total of army here. Alright, full walls, unless there are any holes here. Frizzlebear should be full walled here from any aggression. I don't see any gaps here, so he should be fine, actually. And also leading in the scouts numbers here over the enemy. So with the full walls at home, Frizzlebear doesn't strictly need his spearmen at home either. So you could actually comfortably bring them forward to aid in his quest to take Lord Tidow out of the game here. So Lord Tidow also has the walls here, but there's some danger for some overdrops here as the game moves on. Varys exposed, no spearmen here, but he could fight off the scouts with the builders as well, as long as the scouts don't have defense upgrades or attack for that matter. Green scouts forward here, but they won't find any point of entry, even a palisade wall in the forest here, just to make sure there aren't any sneak entrances possible from this side. Frizzlebear with 9, military to 7 here now. They are with roughly similar amounts of spearmen, but the speed of the scouts allows to outrun the spearmen. Could snipe some farms here even. Let's see. Nah, doesn't go for it. And good defensive job by the spears here for Lord Tidow to keep the Frizzlebear scouts from getting any villager kills here. Alright. So spearman numbers going down for Frizzlebear here. He's sort of debating the spearman away though, so again his scouts could get some juicy hits in here on the berries if he's paying attention here, we'll see. Yeah, that should be one dead villager, probably 2 here for Lord Tidow. So great engagement for Frizzlebear, getting 2 villager kills now by the scouts and only 1 spearman joining in here. The rest are on the way, but that's already 2 villagers down, and Frizzlebear with a, I would say a villager lead, but it's actually somewhat similar here, but that's also Wheelbarrow playing in here, benefiting Frizzlebear's farming economy and villager work rate. So in a way, Frizzlebear is 2 villagers ahead here, and he has a better economy behind everything here. 15 farms to 14 here for Lord Tidow, but Lord Tidow doesn't have wheelbarrow, so his farmers will work more slowly until the wheelbarrow can be researched for Lord Tidow as well. So many spearmen, yeah. Well, if you place them in the correct spots. Oh, woodline, there's over top of the woodline. If you place the spearmen in the correct spots and you have the numbers, it's tough for the scouts to engage, but it's obviously a huge investment as well. Lord Tidow again here, floating wood. I think he is, like me, has the gathering point on the woodline, so he'll be in a good spot to spend more wood for farms and town centers whenever they are needed, floating resources like this. Did the blue scouts die? No, they pulled away. And let's see if Frizzlebear sees the overchop. Oh, he's going for the woodland. Overchop. Oh, the timing! And he's in. Oh, house walls for Lord Tidow, taking some necessary losses here to keep at least some of the villagers safe here. But that's 2 more villagers down for 1 eco KD for Frizzlebear here. And although Lord Tidow is beating Frizzlebear to the Castle Age, Frizzlebear will be going into the Castle Age with a lot stronger economy. What am I saying? Lord Tidow isn't beating Frizzlebear to the Castle Age. Frizzlebear is going first to the Castle Age and with a stronger economy to back it. Because once Castle Age kicks in for Frizzlebear here, he will be able to produce villagers again and should probably be well ahead of Lord Tidow by the time Lord Tidow reaches the next age here. Now it's time to hit the goal to limit any Berber's cavalry production here once the Castle Age kicks in. Good spot by Frizzlebear, and again the spearmen are out of position. These slow, pointy boys over here not doing the work they are supposed to. Scouts are arguably expendable at this point. Frizzlebear will be following up the Castle Age with knights here, most likely double stable knights, I'd assume, and they are in production. +1 defense is in as well as bloodlines, something that Lord Tidow doesn't have yet. So even with the cheaper cavalry, it still needs the upgrades, and in that regard, Lord Tidow is behind here. Second stable going up just now, so that's not going to help the numbers moving on here. I'm guessing Lord Tidow will be dropping a second town center once he reaches the Castle Age here, maybe even a third one, given the wood count here. But actually now with Berbers later up to the Castle Age, you should rather stay just one town center and pump out knights to claim or reclaim map control, and then consider dropping more economy later on. So this third stable is going up here. But even with Berber's cheaper cavalry though, 8 villagers of gold is not enough to sustain triple stables production. But this is going to boost the initial production of knights and camels here, so it's still a good call to go for that. Army numbers strictly quite similar here, but Lord Tidow mixing in the camels, has husbandry, has +1 defense. Frizzlebear, however, with +2 defense here, so he shouldn't necessarily need to shy away from the fights now, but it's probably because of the spearmen over here as well, making a difference in the army strength here. Yeah, spearmen join in, gonna get some good pokes in here, and Lord Tidow takes a good engagement here. Dodges the uphill fighting, of course, to not risk unnecessary extra damage here. That's a hero spearman right there. Is he gonna get 2 kills here? Looks like Lord Tidow has a second town center up here on the gold, on the hill, and arguably protecting the stone as well. Frizzlebear staying 1 town center here, which is going to benefit the army numbers production here. 23 on food, 8 on gold. Still too few on gold to keep both stables consistently producing in the long run here, I'd say. But there's knights on the way, so Frizzlebear is going to take the numbers lead here shortly. And also remembers to place houses in time here and to not get housed. Looks like next TC for the Persians is on the menu as well. Gonna go up here maybe, or on this gold. Or why are they running away? Okay, so that's Lord Tidow. We found a way into the enemy base here. Forcing Frizzlebear to react, but Frizzlebear still has the superior upgrades and arguably the numbers here. I think he cleans this up. Even if there are camels in the mix, I think Frizzlebear could and should take this fight and just clean up the numbers. Even if the Berber's cavalry is cheaper. Yeah, let's clean up. So KD should be looking good for Frizzlebear now. 36, 37, 38 to 23 here. Now in a comfortable position to counterattack. There are pikemen here as well to hold off any more Berber's cavalry running into their bases here. One stray scout just being plain annoying here, and I think he actually got one kill here. I think he got one builder. Forcing a reaction from Lord Tidow, sending over one camel there to poke that last scout to death. Frizzlebear did take way less losses overall though. Look at the villager counter or the eco KD, 11 to 3 here. They both seem to be producing villagers somewhat consistently. Lord Tidow not making use of both of his town centers though. Maybe committing more to army production here as makes sense as well. Camels mainly, that's good because Frizzlebear is making knights exclusively for now. Persians have access to camels as well, so that could certainly be a worthwhile addition for Frizzlebear, as Lord Tidow should consider dropping a monastery with the excess of wood here and pump out some monks to heal up his own armies and convert enemy units here. More villagers going down, 15 to 3 now in favor of Frizzlebear here, who's putting up a good show on his home map this far. Alright, so Lord Tidow trying for some counter attack again here. Frizzlebear is slightly out of position, but I think it's still fine. This gold, oh, what is this gold though? He's mining it on the outside. They're way exposed here. That could be many kills for Lord Tidow right here, unless Frizzlebear kills house and runs to the TC ASAP here. Yeah, that's definitely some villagers down for Frizzlebear. Good counter raid for Lord Tidow there. Evening out the numbers a bit here with Frizzlebear with the faster working town centers of the Persians, and now dropping a third one. Will be taking the boom and eco lead here. So much back and forth here. That's the beauty of mobile armies like this as well. Lord Tidow with another TC as well. That's TC number 4 for the green player here. He's going to drop it on the stone, which sends me some idea that he might want to go for some castles here soon. The army numbers still in favor of the Frizzlebear here, but the knights numbers, cavalry numbers, pretty similar here. It's the overall mix of units here. Yeah, collecting numbers of knights and camels actually higher for Frizzlebear, but it doesn't keep them collected, and then it's tough to engage against Lord Tidow's numbers here. It's just stacking open units at home, keeping them close to home to defend against any potential raids here. Barracks going up as well, going to double up on the pikes and maybe going to halberdiers if this goes to the Imperial Age. And again, a halb siege push against the Berbers. That's something they would struggle to handle. Maybe need to go into champions worst case with Berbers against that. And that's a long and time consuming and expensive tech switch to go into mass champions as Berbers when you've committed to cavalry play like this already. +1 attack, +1 defense for Lord Tidow, +1 attack, +2 defense for Frizzlebear. So I'm not sure who that favors more. I think I like defense better because it's gonna hold up better against all kinds of attacks, whereas the extra attack certainly helps in melee fighting, but you'll also take more damage due to less armor overall. $39 military to 21 though. That's a solid chunk of army here for Frizzlebear moving forward. Lord Tidow wants to try the forward castle again like the previous game. Anticipating an Imperial Age Trebs here maybe, but Lord Tidow's eco balance very offset right now by the looks of it. Yes, only one on wood. I think that's... Why is there only one on wood? Right, really needs to task some builders to work on wood here to afford houses and all that kind of stuff. This could be kind of hurtful. I guess Lord Tidow sent his lumberjacks forward to build the castle maybe. Let's see if this castle goes up or if it's denied though. Frizzlebear has some serious army presence here. Siege shouldn't be an a problem here. Hopper over til TG, ses etterpå. Ja. Snakkes går igjen. Yep, forward castle, most definitely a doubt castle here for Lord Tidow. It gets denied by the pure force of cavalry here for Frizzlebear, who has a significant eco and score lead overall here. Takes the home map, and we are at 2-1 for the blue player for Frizzlebear. We'll look at the score, of course, as usual here. 71-45 KD positive in both army numbers ratio and KD here for Frizzlebear. The economy should show more resources collected, less being touched at home, if you could even say that. Technology shows roughly similar uptimes here with Frizzlebear again earlier to the castle age. Very important against Berbers not to be behind Berbers to the castle age where they get to mass their cheap cavalry. And society score shows no castles didn't go up, and a solid villagers high for the Persians here, as to be expected with the Persians with 15% faster working town centers in the castle age. Let's move on to game 4 and Lord Tidow's second home map. And our next map is Shrublands. It honestly shouldn't be that much different from Plains, but the woodland situation should be still be kind of different. I'm connecting with the game now, and here's Capture Age for us. Shrublands it is, as it says here, Desert Cup Shrublands. Maps on Desert Cup, which I played in the last year with the a cup which was arranged through the AOE to Norway community. There's better woodlands here than on Plains, but as we see Frizzlebear here with the opening scouting, probably didn't realize that one of these better woodlands were here. He could still arguably place Lum Camp here or just place it in the back to make sure it's not too inefficient here. Lord Tidow is almost completely camouflaged in the terrain here. He seems to have a better starting spot. In fact, he is he is quite he is looking at potential for full wall here with the slabs. Mr. Lord Tidow here. His golds are quite forward though. Main gold here to the side. If he walls here, he should be fine, but then he'll leave the secondary gold out. And then the third gold here most definitely will be going outside of the walls unless he goes for a very ambitious one here all the way towards the edge. Notice one tile gaps near the edge here, the whole way actually though, so unless Lord Tidow scouts this, it should be an unfortunate entry of enemy units in the backside of his base. Beautiful woodline even in the back here though, so definitely wood access for Lord Tidow here. Seems like almost a little bit unfair map here, especially if we look at the gold generations of Frizzlebear here on the map that is his opponent's home map. He goes for lumber camp in the middle of the houses and the trees and everything here. Will be more efficient as the first couple of chiefs are dropped down here, so that's probably just fine. Easy to quick wall as well. He's got a much more open base than the enemy though. These camels are just decoration. You actually can't eat them. I will see what this game brings us. We have Saracens, that should be indicative of archers, maybe even straight archers for Frizzlebear here, who seems to be out of luck finding the last two llamas there. A bit unfortunate that one, missing that by just one gap, one tile gap. And Lord Tidow, on the other hand, has full control over his starting resources. So players will probably have realized by now as well that there's some... yeah, that the resources are fairly spread out, especially for Frizzlebear. It's important to be the aggressor for this one, to keep the map control, so that Lord Tidow can't exploit his better map by easier walling and keep the pressure constant on the enemy side here. Back berries even for Lord Tidow. Many good things about his map for this one. Oh, that boar was in an awkward placement. Okay, so there's some hunt as well. That was well camouflaged over here, but there's definitely some hunt to be taken. Frizzlebear did give up on the back sheep here. They are, or llamas rather, but everything is cheap in Age of Empires 2. Yeah, whether it be llamas or pigs or geese or water buffalo, they're still cheap. So, fun fact about Age of Empires: we will call everything sheep or deer, no matter what kind of animal they are. Elephants are boars as well, so it could be confusing for new viewers, I guess, that we keep the same neighbor and thinking, this is sheep. You know, it says llama, but it's a sheep. So Lord Tidow, slabs, fantastic farm eco, cheaper siege in the Castle Age, so you could justify even going full Huang style with slabs with the 15% cheaper siege and start pushing, but I guess with the food eco that the faster working farms gives you at slabs, really still invites for few age scouts. Unless you notice the opponent walling, Tidow, he is over here, is about to sacrifice his scout to the enemy forces, but saves half the hit points here. So Lord Tidow, he managed to find the woodline, he manages to see the main gold as well. He still doesn't know about the... All he knows about the secondary and third gold, so this is very valuable information for Lord Tidow. If Lord Tidow can make it to a smooth castle age here, he could deny Frizzlebear so easily of gold here, because the gold spots of Frizzlebear are horrible here, and the way Frizzlebear is walling here, right next to the gold means that even with few late archers, you'd deny this gold, no problem, of the Saracens. So you could make an argument that Saracens with a market app could still use the market for a while to sustain their production and take map control back, but by walling the way Frizzlebear is doing, he's giving up a lot of the map control to the enemy already, and I'm not sure what his plan is here. I don't see a barracks. It could be straight archers here, but he didn't go to gold yet either. Really not sure what I'm seeing here. Scout forward, seeing this stables, so Frizzlebear will go into Spearman defense here then. Saracen Scouts. Alright. I commend the scout choice on this very open map. It's always good to have the mobility. Let's see for Frizzlebear's scouting. So, such a tongue twister, that nickname. But he knows, yeah, he knows about the scouts investment of the slabs here. We have 6 slabs farms, 7 slabs farms up already, Lord Tidow with horse collar, so these farms will last longer as a result of that. Nice back woodline being taken there as well. That's one that Frizzlebear actually hasn't scouted, so he won't be obstructing all of Lord Tidow's wood income easily. These are just a few quick walls away, and Lord Tidow's wood eco is safe. Lord Tidow manages to delay or deny the walls just in time here, but is going to run into a couple of Saracen scouts here, and at least has one scout on the inside of the enemy base to make things a little bit more annoying for the blue player here. Almost kills the villager. A bit unfortunate for Lord Tidow not to finish that one off. So one villager kill though at home point could have been earlier in the game here or at the moment the scouts entered. Now Frizzlebear is on the counterattack. And doesn't seem to be patrolling here. He tries to get a sneak hit in on the spearman here. Gap about to be closed by his Frizzlebear's villager, and yeah, with 2 spearmen forward, it's tough for Frizzlebear to comfortably engage here. Could still engage scout on scout. They have no upgrades, so they have similar stats, both of them here. As Frizzlebear will lose that spearman, but pulls his own scouts away, all 4 of them, and will be hurting Lord Tidow's very open, exposed economy here, unless Lord Tidow has enough spears everywhere to keep everything away. Looks like Frizzlebear has a plan here, though. He's seen those openings in the back. No, he hasn't, but he's about to find out there are openings all the way in the back here through the woodlines. Could run through here, maybe. Yep, that's an opening. Classic, just like on Serengeti here. And bit of a choke point there to lose the spears, but one scout running that way, the other 3 luring the spears away. Should be the other way around, should be 1 scout luring the spears away and all 3 engaging elsewhere. Berries depleted and villagers quite exposed here for Lord Tidow. Should be an easy target for Frizzlebear, but he can take them on his own if Lord Tidow decides to fight back with the villagers here. Something he's not currently doing. Lots of things going on the map now. Armies forward, 2 villagers as well. I'm assuming a tower here for Lord Tidow to deny this gold. Now the woodline, that's good as well. But there's another woodline for Frizzlebear, so that's gonna have limited success, but it's still a good tower to take Frizzlebear off one woodland here and have some cover fire, making it tougher to quick wall behind here for any of Frizzlebear's villagers. Why isn't Lord Tidow fighting with villagers here? Huh? Too much going on, I think. Frizzlebear, he should be seeing this tower going up, but no immediate reaction. This tower goes up. I hope Lord Tidow remembers to wall it in as well to make it tougher to rush down. There's the reaction. It's too late though. Those two forward villagers, villagers well spent. Hop into the tower and deny this one. And you're good to go. Could get a villager kill here even. And the Spearman, meanwhile, due to the distraction at home, for Frizzlebear will handle the offensive scouts here. I think it's okay, I can see why Lord Tidow doesn't want to try and break the walls here. That's because of the tower. But the tower also needs to take down the offensive tower here. Lots of things going on here now. Lord Tidow really wants to get through here with the aggression. And now we can see why I think the tower should have gone on the gold instead. The market is up for the Saracens. And since the Saracens have cheaper market prices, you could buy anything with your market in the early game. No problem. Sell 100 food for 86 gold. I think it's half or twice as good prices as the generic markets. Villager fighting over here to deal with the scouts. They don't have any upgrades, so that should be okay. Uphill or not. Still some idle eco time on Lord Tidow, though more significant than on Frizzlebear's side. Again, the scouts going down to villagers here. I'm amazed that Frizzlebear's continuous scouts play here. They should have followed it up with archers a while ago, maybe. Would have been potentially useful. But he keeps the aggression out for now, and that's the more important thing, I guess, against slabs here. Lord Tidow, if he drops the market now and sells some wood and buys the last 100 food, he could be on the way to the cast stage as well, but it's going to be the Saracens beating him to it here. Nice wall attention by Frizzlebear behind the palisades here to keep all this scout aggression out. Lord Tidow somehow isn't up yet. He really doesn't want to drop a market. Oh, never mind. There's the market. It's on the way. And it's going to be roughly 1 minute behind Frizzlebear to the next age here. No upgrades on the scouts. That's actually affordable at this point. Could easily go into defense for the scouts now if the plan is to follow up with knights in the castle age here for Lord Tidow. And again, the wood really needs to be sorted. Oh, the scouts are in! The scouts are in! They broke through the wooden walls in the end, and that's going to put a some obstacle to the Saracens archers follow-up here. Spearman in as well, so if Frizzlebear goes for Spearman defense here, Lord Tidow will have spears to engage as well. Castle Age on the way, yes, but what's that going to bring Frizzlebear here if half of his economy goes down to enemy scouts here? Just keep the aggression going. Frizzlebear on stone, maybe with a defensive tower on the gold in mind here as well. But the damage has been done. Look at the idle eco timer ticking away here. Frizzlebear might even be looking at what's he gonna make here. He has the stable. He should probably pump out a couple of camels now. Definitely not knights, but camels here to deal with the scouts inside the base should be more efficient. Another stable as well. Saracens camels, they got buffed recently in the Castle Age with plus 10 hit points, so that they are in fact the strongest Castle Age camels in the game. It seems like a bit of panic mode for Frizzlebear on the home map of Lord Tidow here. Lord Tidow's eco at home very much unobstructed for a while. Could still sell lots of wood here for more gold if needed for whatever follow-up is on the way here. 2 stables. Town centers, not an option just yet. We'll need to sell some wood and buy some stone to afford that. But all in all, I still favor Lord Tidow's position here with more villagers overall after the many kills with scouts raids in Blue's base here. And just a good old mess inside the Frizzlebear's base here. There's even an opening on the woodland here. The camels will clean up the scouts though, but in the meantime, Lord Tidow will have his follow-up land here with some knights, and by the looks of it, with this villager woman moving forward, we'll be seeing a forward siege workshop somewhere as well. Even some houses to the side here. As Lord Tidow gets lucky here, we'll actually find the woodland where Frizzlebear again is kind of his trademark here, hiding away villagers at small woodlands just to secure some economy here far off base. And even with the house, Lord Tidow doesn't see that there's any expansion to the side here. Camels on the field. Did he spot the forward villager? Ah, she's here. And there are two more forward villagers here, actually. They are just building houses. They are relocating their home fields here. I think I favor Lord Tidow here because of the eco advantage he has. More TC is going up as well to secure the main goal, important one there. Could drop one on the woodline later on as well as needed. But with this TC most likely going up, it's going to be tough for Frizzlebear to get any raids in there. And he has mainly camels. Even though Saracen's camels have extra hit points, they are lacking all the upgrades here, so they will be very vulnerable to town center fire here. Long distance lumberjacking here for Lord Tidow. There is one weak villager here. Some villagers might go down to the raids here, but the houses keep the camels from engaging for the most part here, and now they could hop into the town center and deal some precious damage on the forward knights and camels of the Saracens player here. Pikemen already on the way for Lord Tidow. Long-term infantry investment is going to benefit the Slavs anyway, because they have access to Drushina in the Imperial Age, having infantry deal area damage. They also obviously being kind of an infantry and siege, so they get full upgrades for their infantry line as well. Lord Tidow with enough stone now to drop another town center if he wants to. Let's see the forward villagers. Did they go down? Now they're here. They're just placing random houses all over the world here. And making sure that Lord Tidow doesn't get housed anytime soon. But still though, this is the only gold inside of Frizzlebear's base. If you place a forward siege workshop here with the Slavs, it would of course need some army to back it. But say the forward pike siege here, for example, and then you could pump out some scorpions or mangonels and just make sure that Frizzlebear will never have easy access to gold. Easy on the gold, nice. Bit too few slab farms for my taste though. It's they have one of the strongest farming ecos in the game, with the farm rate of the farmers. I don't remember the percentage, but they are basically one of the best Castle Age farmers in the game. $21 million to 16 now, but Frizzlebear doesn't really have a response to the pikeman here, so that's going to be hurtful if he goes up against Lord Tidow now, who is now dropping the forward siege workshop. Frizzlebear on the move though, wants to get some raids in on the enemy side. Oh, this is dangerous for the Saracens cavalry. And why play knights, mainly knights, with the Saracens? I mean, it's fine in Castle Age, but you're never going to get past the knights, so it's definitely not a long-term play here. I mean, Frizzlebear is doing a good job at keeping the army alive, but it's also not keeping using it actively enough to get some raids in on the very exposed villagers here. Lord Tidow now with almost twice the villager count of his opponent here, and doing a good showing here on Shrublands, his home map. So it looks like the Pike Siege push is on the way as well. We have 10 gold miners for Frizzlebear, but these 2 golds not doing blue any favors here. They're just off limits now with Lord Tidow with the biggest map control here, and I think a Pike Siege push here. Pike Siege push here is the perfect call for our friend, especially with all of the cavalry forward now for Frizzlebear. Means that most of the pikemen are away as well, but there are still town centers here for the villagers to pop into, and you're could still afford to lose quite a few more villagers here if you're Lord Tidow. Even though you don't want that to happen, it's it's affordable at this point. And a forward castle even. Two mangonels and a forward castle. Lord Tidow is not messing around here. He really wants to restrict access to gold and a bit of farming here for Frizzlebear, who is now going into the Saracen cavalry archers. Just a game full of surprises right here. Let's see how it turns out though. Will this castle go up? I don't see any easy denying that for Frizzlebear, who has knights here to run back and try to stop it, but the problem here is all these pikes forward to contest the cavalry of the Saracens, and yeah, overall a stronger and better military approach here for Lord Tidow. This castle is going to make gold income awkward for Frizzlebear as well. He is relocating to the side, so if Lord Tidow doesn't address this, that's going to be an issue. Actually not scouting this expansion, but still, this castle up here allows for very comfortable siege pushing. Honestly, you should just be targeting the market right away so that Saracens player needs to rebuild it. Cav archers can't engage here either easily now with the castle to protect the siege moving forward here. Pikemen running in. One mangonel goes down though, so good engagement by the knights there. Actually almost sniping the second one as well. Some counter raids for Frizzlebear, but he's going to run into pikes again. Too much going on at once here in this battle. Frizzlebear down to 15 military against Lord Tidow's 45, and this is looking good for green player. Green, best color, of course. I'm cheering for green. I always pick green when I can. So now I'm missing some more scouting attention for Lord Tidow here. Lord Tidow is denying the gold, but does not acknowledge or recognize that Frizzlebear has extended to the secondary gold. He's scouting this gold earlier. He knows that it's not going to be taking gold here by blue, but this one looking rougher. This game is so good it has Pelastar moved to tiers apparently, judging from chat here. It's good to see. It's a good set. It's getting close to a 2-2 here by the looks of it. I'm not going to call it just yet, but these are some good cavalry raids. Cavalry archers for Saracens. Impressive numbers, I have to say. With Bodkin arrow in here, but no ballistics, so that limits the potential a little bit. Saracens cavalry archers, they have bonus against buildings as well, so that would help to break any walls, but both players are playing it rather open here. And again, I want to state the fact that Lord Tidow has twice the villagers of Frizzlebear and most, if not all, the map here. University and Town Center going up for Frizzlebear here. Just some more scouting intel is needed here. There's even a neutral gold here that Frizzlebear is allowed to Town Center now. Lord Tidow has 14 knights, but it's not playing that mobility to its full advantage here. But I think he might be on the move now to address the relocation of Frizzlebear. I mean, even if these theses go up, you have cheap slab siege here to take them down again. Could go to the Imperial Age, get some siege rams out, or trebuchets for the forward castle. The KD 67 to 50G, not that much difference there. 35 to 5 eco KD, so they've both been killing villagers, but Frizzlebear has had a lot more trouble extending the numbers here to match. We have 3,000 centers for both players now, but that's just newly built ones for Frizzlebear, who is also taking a faraway woodland here. Again, that's his thing. He's hiding and taking woodlands in the far sides of the map here. Cavalry raids, good counterattack for Frizzlebear now in the green base. And right now, Lord Tidow doesn't have a good answer to this. He could easily just drop a defensive siege workshop with wood accessible at hand here and pump out some scorpions maybe, but the scorpions are slow and immobile, so there's a risk to that as well. These massive cavalry archers could actually potentially contest siege weapons with ease as well. Looks like large enough numbers to almost one-shot knights as well. Lord Tidow trying to take the gold here, not going to be allowed to do that. But let's see, 17 knights against 19 cab archers. You see the cab archers have vastly lower HP here. The knights have 120 hit points. The cab archers have 70, I believe. So that is a huge difference after all. Imperial Age in for Lord Tidow here. He's idling the pikemen here. Could use these for raiding purposes as well to take out production buildings maybe. What's going on with the forward siege workshop? Not producing rams here, but trebs are in the making, and with pikemen to protect, it's going to be hard to focus down the trebuchets for Frizzlebear here. Lovely cab archers play those, spreading out the units here and hitting multiple areas at once. Also a great castle of Lord Tidow for map control here to take the gold and cover the woodline over here as well, and limit raids to the left hand side. And there's already a castle in the middle protecting two woodlands as well. Great castle placements for Lord Tidow. So let's see, Cavalcher's chilling out for a bit there as the Treb push is in fact in Frizzlebear's home base here. He's gonna lose his main base, and as Pelastar says, the builder numbers have caught up for Frizzlebear here. So Lord Tidow has been idling the TCs by the looks of it, and Frizzlebear has been making good use of his two newfound TCs to the side. Maybe we'll have a switch of events here, but Imperial Age, that is a huge factor as well. Lord Tidow could actually take into Halberdier here with the current resources, and the overall army situation here is just off the charts for Lord Tidow compared to the opponent here. If the ranges go down, Frizzlebear cannot easily replenish numbers, even with Saracen's market abuse here. And 3 trebs to push here would make quick work of any TCs, castles, whatever defensive buildings Frizzlebear pops up here. Look at this brutality, even burning the farms. Yeah, good forward for Lord Tidow here. Is still subject to cavalry archers raid at home. I'm not going to say cavalry archers, I'm not Memb. Yeah, Lord Tidow, he has this in the pocket, there's no question about this. Even dropping another forward castle here on the woodline and the TCs to the side. So he's realizing this expansion here. Cavalry Archer, last resort for Frizzlebear here, but he simply doesn't have the numbers. He's gonna get some counter raids in here and slaughter more villagers, maybe, but this castle will go up. Frizzlebear is miles away from the Imperial Age and will eventually have to call it here. I think this castle, yep, definitely goes up. And with the cover fire from the castle, the Cav Archers and Pikes can engage here, but that is a 2-2. Great work from Lord Tidow on the home map again here. And we're going to have a decider game, a 5th game. Great set. Both going for the scouts, getting those early eco upgrades. Lord Tidow with wheelbarrow to benefit the farms mainly there, resulting in a slightly later castle age, but overall better economy as we'll be getting to soon. Let's see the military count first. 120 to 91 KD, higher units ratio. And overall resources more collected there, especially food. Slavs farms, just crazy, they work faster. We'll have the uptimes as well. Looks like a slightly smoother scouts build for Lord Tidow there. And Saracen scouts not necessarily playing into the Saracen strengths, but it makes sense on an open map like this. Frizzlebear was really annoyed with was really being really annoying with scouts play as well. Key was that I got in feudal. Yes, absolutely. Lord Tidow managed to break through Frizzlebear's walls, and that really turned the game around at that point. Alright, let's have the decider game. Need to go back into the AOE2DE here to fetch the game, and we'll see what Frizzlebear has as the last home map. We are going to Atacama. And in the draft, we have Turks and Bulgarians as the picked civilizations for the players here. I have some capture rate issues here. I will need to restart again, I believe, but bear with me. I'll be launching the next one shortly. Okay, here we are. It's Atacama. It's all about wood. This is Frizzlebear's home map. I'm sure he's familiar with Atacama from the ranked 1v1 queue there, where it's been at least a couple of times. It's a definitive edition Atacama version. It says unknown map. It's weird that Capture H doesn't recognize the standard maps, but it's a pretty new map for DE as well, so that makes sense. It's all about the wood. You need middle control here to have consistent access to wood lines. These small ones are just only 1,000 wood a piece here on these ones, right? So you can't really rely on those for long-term wood access. And in that sense, I like Lord Tidow's pick here with the Bulgarians. Bulgarians, instant men-at-arms and towers, very strong on this map to deny wood access, wood income, and force the enemy to relocate to new woodlands, building a new lumber camp for 100 woods worth. Yeah, you get the idea. And Bulgarians obviously have, they could go men arms into scouts as well if you want some more mobility. And as the game progresses, Bulgarians also can build kreposts, their unique building in the castle age, essentially a cheaper castle at roughly the half price of a castle that can train your unique unit, and more importantly, a stationary strong building to take more middle control or defend resources at home if need be. So looking at the resources here, both players have back stones and back gold, so I think both should be happy with their generations in that sense. We're likely not to be looking at any full walls here because the the map itself is just so open. You could commit to left and right hand side full walling, but eventually, sooner rather than later, you need to venture into the middle anyway for consistent wood access. Bit of self-blame with the house on the bill here, but that's what can happen with the first two houses as well. You don't know too much about the map otherwise. So Frizzlebear with the Turks here. Not sure what the plan is, but it's probably going to be extended scouts play. Turks scouts have extra pierce armor as well, so you could run more comfortably close to the starting TC. See that? Take less damage from TC fire even with all the arrows from the Bulgarians TC here. That's thanks to the extra pierce armor that Turks scouts get from the very get-go. Lord Tidow boosting the food income here with some deer pushing as well. And he has 4 on wood, so that indicates a most likely a barracks opening at Men-at-Arms, which is not too unexpected for Bulgarians here. Frizzlebear with the walls again here. He really wants to close off a little bit of the entrance points here, but in this case it makes sense. If you wall this section, it's a lot tougher for Lord Tidow to get, if he wanted to the backstone here, to deny it for defensive towers for Frizzlebear. So Lord Tidow scouting for the enemy now, sees the palisades and will know that this is indeed the enemy location. That's an unloomed villager, very much alone there. That's one that Lord Tidow definitely could try and snipe, but now taking some hits from the enemy town center fire, Lord Tidow will need to be careful not to lose more than necessary. Takes the hill though, and gets some uphill hits there. Roughly same hit points now for the scouts. 2 hit points less for Lord Tidow still though, and he's running back home. He knows the enemy location, that's all he needs to know for now. Has been in the middle to have a look to see if Frizzlebear is going for the middle woodland as well. But Frizzlebear for now is going for the arguably more secure approach with the woodland closer to home to begin with. Some long distance gold mining has worked here. Did Lord Tidow forget to place the mining camp maybe, as doesn't have quite enough wood to drop it here. The barracks is up on the woodline here, and some preliminary preemptive walls here all around the woodline, making it easy to quick wall in the event of scouts aggression. Something Lord Tidow probably suspects from the Turks in this matchup. Another potential villager snipe there, but they have loom now, so that's a no-go for Lord Tidow here. So what's the feudal age going to bring here? Do we have men-at-arms on the way? Here they are, and I think they're going straight for the wood line here. These are feudal age walls for Frizzlebear as well, but the scout is doing the right thing there to be... Yeah, looks like Frizzlebear keeps the aggression out here actually. The stable will go up for the Turks here, and the men-at-arms will likely be quick walled out here. So okay, good approach to walling here after all for Frizzlebear. Has safe gold, has safe stone, but wood is still going to be an issue. I mean, 1 tower from Lord Tidow over here. 1 tower here actually, and Frizzlebear barely has any wood access at all. And look at Lord Tidow here. He has 3 on stone, so he definitely has plans for some towers here. First one to go on the berries. That's good as well. That's going to deny food access for consistent scouts production here for Frizzlebear. And Frizzlebear, do you see the tower going up? Oh, it's just outside. That's a beautiful tower spot. It's not going to be seen by Frizzlebear until it's actually completed, and meanwhile behind that Lord Tidow has stone enough for another castle. He could also use the men-at-arms to break through here once the tower is up, because then there's some cover fire for the men-at-arms, so that it's not going to be easy to house wall or quick wall behind. Using the villagers as well to break through. Another man-at-arm has been added as well. 3 men-at-arms, 2 spears now. That's going to be more than enough to hold off these scouts, I believe. As Frizzlebear tries the quick walls here, but look at the wood investment that includes. It basically means that Frizzlebear is wasting all the wood he's got here, and he's barely got any wood access at home at all. He can't go to the middle. He's being kind of denied by towers and men-at-arms and villagers and whatnot here. And I think Lord Tidow's next tower should definitely go on the right-hand side here on the wood. He has enough stone for 2 more towers. Yeah, walling in this one is obviously a good call as well to make it a lot more difficult to tear down the towers using villagers. I have to say, very good offensive for Lord Tidow here on what is actually Frizzlebear's home map. Berries denied, food sources denied. There are 8 farms here, so Frizzlebear is able to keep the TC producing at least. Actually, more consistent production behind this as well. I guess this micromanagement of villagers and men-at-arms and spears forward is making it awkward for Lord Tidow to pay attention to production at home at the same time. Men-at-arms doing work with the scouts, so they have higher attack output, so in equal numbers the men-at-arms should win. Tower might or might not go up here. Frizzlebear is on the defensive stone here, so it's a good call for Frizzlebear to go to that stone mine in the back to have the option of more defensive tower. Of course, it's a huge setback on Frizzlebear's economy still. Let's see if this tower can go up. It goes up. And now there's an overdrop over here, so the men-at-arms could actually enter. Oh, is Lord Tidow gonna find it in time? I think Frizzlebear quick walls that. I have to say, admirable hold by Frizzlebear thus far. One villager being chased by a man-at-arm here though, so that one is going to go down most likely. She can't fight that one-on-one. Quick houses will need it, and Frizzlebear wood count is just going to suffer even more because of this. Idle villagers, idle wood income, no more stragglers around the town center. And this time for Frizzlebear, no neutral expansion to any side woodland. Another tower going up on the woodland here. Is this the game deciding tower here? The set deciding tower? It could be. This one goes down, but that's not really denying anything important. This denies wood, which is much more significant for Frizzlebear here, who has stolen up for the defense tower, but does he have wood for it? I'm not sure if Frizzlebear has the wood for another tower here. There it goes, there he has it. 50 wood for a tower, so never mind, he had the wood for it. But it's taking some serious hits here now, and town center going idle as well, giving Lord Tidow a solid villager lead behind this. And looks with the men-at-arms are even going to break in there. 6 men-at-arms total here now for the Bulgarians. And a very much solid offensive on the Turks here. I think this is game. I think this is set. Men-at-arms could go here, they could take out gold villagers, they could take out stone villagers. And Frizzlebear is moving out, so here's one that might be an issue for Lord Tidow, but this time he I don't think he's gonna let Frizzlebear escape this time. I think he's sensing that some expansion to the middle is needed, maybe. And Frizzlebear, actually, even if he wants to relocate now to a new wood, he actually doesn't have wood for another lumber camp. He can't drop another lumber camp. So yes, you can relocate villagers, but you need to panic collect wood before you can actually place it. Solid feudal age play, and this game might end in the feudal age between these two. No sign of a castle age transition for either player, and Frizzlebear's main concern, of course, being wood here. Still lacking wood for a lumber camp. Probably plans to place it over here. And there are men-at-arms here to address the expansion as well. Nothing to stop Lord Tidow from dropping another tower on villagers. Always gotta spread out, yeah. I sometimes do that as well. This seems to be the last hurrah, fighting with villagers under the towers. Villager count diminishing 43 villagers to 29 now for Frizzlebear. And this is basically genocide, sending the builders in to fight this. GG, well played, is called 11. Well suited. Good luck next to Lord Tidow. Congratulations on making it to the final. And thanks to Frizzlebear for participating. And good performance in this tournament overall. For sure. Let's have a look at these stats here. So we have a 3-2 on our hands. The final will be cast live on Saturday this week on at what was it again? 7 GMT, I think. 19 GMT. And I have to set my clock. I think that's going into Sunday, so hopefully that's not going to mess up my time perception. Thanks for casting. You're welcome. Thanks for playing. Great set, guys. I love when it goes to all 5 games. That's just a testimony to the skill of the players being quite even. But middle 3 here, higher, army high 16 for Lord Tidow in the end. Economy shows... yeah, more resources. Lord Tidow never threatened at home, was a ruthless aggressor here. We have some uptimes here with the feudal ages, somewhat not really similar, but scouts not working out for Frizzlebear here, and villager count should show 10 more villagers for Lord Tidow in the end. GG.